Today's workout is a 15-minute standing strength workout. It's prenatal, postpartum, and beginner friendly with simple movements that will help tone and strengthen your muscles to build a lean body composition. All you'll need is a set of light to moderate weights and a mat. Let's get started. Hey mamas, welcome to today's workout. We've got a 15-minute standing strength workout that's prenatal and postpartum friendly, and we're gonna use a set of dumbbells. If you've just got one dumbbell, that works too. You can go light to moderate. We're using lower body weights first, and then we're gonna switch to upper body. So you may wanna vary the weight, but you could also just use one set of dumbbells, and some exercises can be done with just body weight alone. So grab your weights. We're gonna start with a Romanian deadlift. So bring your feet under your hips, dumbbells to your thighs, shoulders back and down, and we're gonna hinge from the hips, dropping those weights down to about mid-shin until your back comes parallel to the floor. Keep the chin tucked back long and straight, and then hinge from your hips rather than bending at the knees. So we wanna push the butt back and let those weights just slide down and up the legs, and that's gonna help us recruit the back body. So we wanna work the legs, the hamstrings, glutes, and then the posterior chain, the muscles in the back and the core as well. As we stand up, squeeze your glutes just a little bit and push down through your heels. So you want those glutes engaged here, but you don't want to overextend into that low back. So you want the hips in neutral, right under that shoulder line at the top right here. Couple more. You can move as fast or as slow as you want. Again, it's not about how many reps, it's just about moving with control and good technique here. Let's rest and we'll move to our next movement, a kickstand row. So we're gonna use just one dumbbell for this one. We're gonna hinge from the hip, step one foot back, about a foot, and then prop the heel up. We're gonna hinge from the hip, that same arm rows the plate or the dumbbell to the hip and then back down to about 45 degrees. So row leading with the elbow, pulling up, keeping the lats engaged right here, and you squeeze that dumbbell in toward the hip, elbow up nice and high. Now I'm putting most of my weight in that front leg, the front heel specifically, and that's gonna help load the glute and create a nice stable base of support here. So I'll show you from the front. My feet are staggered a bit so they're not directly behind one another. And that's gonna also create some stability, help me load my front glute as I push through my front heel. Then as you lower this dumbbell, I want you to push it away from you. Don't just let it fall here. Push it out to about 45 degrees, and that's gonna keep that core firing and those muscles in the back working here. Let's rest, and we're gonna switch to the other side. So same movement, just working the other side. So again, feet about hip width apart. Same leg that's back is the same arm that rows, so step it back, lean into that front leg a bit, and row. You can also hold onto your wall here or hold onto a chair if you need some support with this movement. Keep that nice core brace as you row, belly button pulled in towards spine, ribs closed down to support the core. And if you're curious about core engagement and how to do that, I have a shorts video and several postpartum core videos where I teach you how to do that as well. And I always recommend, if you're doing weight training, you really need to work on strengthening your core, whether or not you are pregnant or postpartum, but it's especially important if you are pregnant or postpartum here. Couple more reps here. And rest. Okay, moving on to the lower body again. We're gonna get our other dumbbell, or you can use just one dumbbell, up to you. Wide with the feet, toes out, we're doing a sumo squat. So we're gonna squat down, push the butt back, let those weights just drop toward the floor, and then stand up, squeeze your butt, drive those heels to the ground. So we wanna aim for nice and low here, and the wider we take the feet, the lower we can get in our squat, the more muscles we can work in the lower body. So as you stand up, I want you to push down and then push out with your heels, and that's gonna recruit those side glutes and the back of the body a little bit more. You can alternatively take the weights up here, or like I said, you can use one dumbbell or go body weight on this one. It's a great one if you're feeling a little fatigued right now. It's also great with if you're pregnant. Taking those feet wider helps allow more room to squat. Sometimes if you're squatting in that narrow position, it can be really awkward, and this can provide a little bit more comfort for your pelvis as well. And squats are the best labor prep exercise. Okay, using just one dumbbell or both if you would like to, we're gonna take it up here to the collarbones. Come to the side of your mat, feet under hips. Squat down, and we're gonna walk laterally across. So a lateral squat walk, or a monster walk as they're sometimes called. Just walk as far as many steps as you can across your mat, however much space you have, and then come back the same direction. Now you can stay up high, or if you really want to get those legs, try to sit back and then stay low as you move laterally. You can also do this without a weight, but the goal here is to keep those legs bent, those knees behind the big toes. You're leaning forward slightly because you're hinged at the hips, but you're never rounding your back. You're always keeping that chest lifted, good posture here. Just a couple more. And rest. Okay, backwards stepping lunges. You can use one dumbbell, two, or no at all. No weights at all. Bring your feet under your hips. I'm gonna show you from the side profile. We're gonna take a long step back with the leg, drop the knee to 90 degrees. That back knee can kiss the floor or just hover. And then we want that front knee over the ankle about 90 degrees as well. The goal is to get that front thigh parallel to the floor. Your speed is up to you. You can go slow, especially if you've got heavier weights. You might have to slow down, right? But if you've got lighter weights, if you're going for more of a cardio burn rather than strength workout today, which can be done with weights, you can move up that pace. You can go faster. But if you're really trying to work on hypertrophy or muscle strength, I want you to try to slow down and go heavier. Really accentuate that push through the front foot to engage your glute. Either way, your heart rate's gonna go up because we're working those big muscles. Okay, staying with the legs, curtsy lunges. Feet under hips, we're gonna step to the back corner, starting with that right foot. So good posture here. Again, you can kiss the knee to the floor, or you can just slightly let it hover above the floor. That front foot, you may slightly turn in the toe, or you may keep it directly forward, whatever's more comfortable for you. And then the back foot, again, crosses to the back corner. And you wanna go low in that range. It's all about the range of motion here. Especially if you're wanting to build strength, we've got to push the muscles in their full range of motion to change the size and shape. And it doesn't mean getting bulky. It means getting lean muscle mass, and that's going to support a lean body mass. Again, you can use both weights here, one weight or none. If you're just using one, you may hold it up at your chest. That would be easier since we're alternating the legs here. Rest. Okay, lateral lunges. Same thing, we're gonna alternate the legs. And you have two options here. I'll show you option one. Start with the feet wide dumbbells in between your legs, one or two. Shift your weight side, stand up to side. So you're gonna keep the toes turned out and just push back into the hips, side to side. I want you to push your hips way back. You're gonna hinge from the hip, let those dumbbells come toward the floor, but your chest again is lifted. You've got a little squeeze between those shoulder blades. Now, if you want to add a little more dynamic movement, get the heart rate up a little more, add a step. So you're stepping out and back in between. Push through your heel as you stand up, squeeze your butt. And the wider you go, the better, because the deeper you can sit into those muscles and get into the hips here. Good work, guys. All right, bicep curls. We're gonna do them a little bit differently though. We're gonna start with the feet under the hips. We're gonna stagger the bicep curl. So we're gonna go halfway up, all the way to the shoulders, halfway down, and then release to the legs. Keep that going. So it's halfway up, all the way up, halfway down to the legs. Now, you may need to reduce your weight here if you've got a heavy set of dumbbells, or you can even do this with just one weight and just put both palms underneath one dumbbell handle, if that makes sense. It would look like this. Keep going, keep the knees soft here, core brace nice and tight. And you'll notice when I turn to this side, my elbows are under my shoulders in that mid-range curl right here. And that's where you're gonna feel the greatest burn. That's the greatest point of tension for the biceps. So we wanna accentuate that little part in the mid-range, and that's really gonna accelerate our muscle gains for the biceps. Okay, we're gonna add on to the bicep curl. This time we're doing a curl to press overhead. If you're not ready for the overhead press yet, I'll show you modification. So we're gonna curl it up, press overhead, bring it back down, and release. Curl it up, press overhead, Bring it back to the shoulders and release. So we want a nice stable base of support. Knees soft, abs tight. And as we press, we want to brace that belly and we want to stay strong, keeping the weight slightly in front. So you should always be able to see them out of their peripheral vision. Now, if you don't want to take it overhead, you can curl it up and then you can take it out, curl it back in and down. So adding a little side raise rotation for those shoulders. It's still going to be really challenging. You're just not adding that overhead component. If maybe your core's not ready or if you've got low back pain and you're not ready to take that weight overhead, a great option to still get the shoulders here. Rest. Okay, upright row. More shoulder training, weights not going overhead. So feet are under hips. We're gonna take those weights up and then lead with the elbows, pull them up and back. So here we go. So elbows up and back. We wanna squeeze the shoulder blades together. Dumbbells come to about the mid chest. And again, we wanna connect those shoulder blades at the top to get that upper back. Great for posture. Really, really important in whatever phase of life you're in, but especially pregnancy and postpartum, we tend to have that back hump, rounding of the spine, just really poor posture because of our lifestyle and because of that weight we carry at the front of the body. So we want to help compensate for that, even things out so that we have more mobility, less risk of injury, and makes life more comfortable when we're doing all those things that cause us to have to hunch over. All right, rear deltoid raise, another great one for the posture. So we're gonna hinge from the hips and do this one there. So we're gonna take those dumbbells to the knees, hinge from the hips, let the weights hang, and then we're gonna take those elbows up and back, just like this, up and back. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together, just like we just did. Your elbows are coming up to about shoulder level, palms face together, and then we're keeping the elbows slightly bent. So we're going wide, but you're keeping the elbows bent. Again, nice big pull through that mid-upper back. I'll show you here from the side profile. Now, if this is starting to feel like it's too intense for your low back, make sure you're sinking into your hips, bracing your belly, heels down, core's nice and tight, and your back is long and straight. But if you need to, do 1 rep, stand up, and then keep going just like this to take a little bit of that pressure off. Rest. All right, we're gonna move to a lateral raise and we're gonna alternate the arms. So we're gonna take them just out to the side, shoulder level, and we're gonna alternate again, keeping the arms nice and straight. So out to the side, exhale as you lift, brace that core. Even though it's not going overhead, we wanna make sure that core is really engaged here because every time the weight moves away from your body, regardless of the movement, it's gonna challenge your core stability. So even though we're not doing ab-specific exercises, all these exercises are working your core. And that's what's really important about weight training specifically, is because your core is working in every single one of these movements actively. Even though you may not be thinking about it or feeling your abs burn, you're engaging your core, you should be. Rather than most cardio workouts, you're just not having to fire your core the same way because there's not as much resistance typically. So that's why I love strength training, pregnancy and postpartum. Even if you can't do crunches, normal ab exercises, you can do core stability with weights. Okay, reverse flies. So it's similar to that rear deltoid fly. We're gonna start in the same position. So hinging from the hips, dumbbells face each other. This time we're going a little bit wider out to the side. So less to the back like this. That was the fly or the raise. This is the fly. So the fly, we go out a little bit closer to shoulder level, and then we take the dumbbells up to shoulder level. So elbows are a little bit soft, but arms are relatively straight here. Again, we've got a long straight back. You're absorbing that weight with your lower body. So sitting into the hips, again, bracing the core and moving with controlled, as graceful as you can make it. Might not be pretty, but we are at the end here. Just one more exercise left after this. And if you need to, of course, you can stand up between the reps and rest. Okay, last one. So we're going to an overhead extension. I'm gonna use just 1 dumbbell for this. This is one you need a weight for, but I would suggest just 1 for starting. So take it to your collarbones. We're gonna push it up overhead, take it to the base of the neck, and then straight overhead. Base of the neck, straight overhead. So You want to keep your core, again, really engaged here. It's a small range of motion, so it's base of the neck and then right up over the shoulder line. Elbows are in nice and tight, so you can see my elbows are forward when that dumbbell drops back, and then I'm squeezing the back of my arms as I lift overhead. Again, really strong and stable. Great for targeting those small muscles in the back of the arms. Just a couple more seconds and we're there. That's it. That was your 15-minute standing strength workout with dumbbells. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you like these workouts or want to see more like this, or maybe you have a different idea, let me know in the comments. I always appreciate feedback because it helps me know what my audience really enjoys, and it helps me as I'm creating my content to create workouts that I know you guys are going to love. So if there's a workout you've been thinking you would like me to do, let me know. I always take requests. And if you liked this one, I would love it if you gave me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribe. It helps me, again, know that people are enjoying the workouts. It helps me keep this channel going. It's a small business operation with just me and my husband, so I appreciate any and all of your feedback, even subscribing and commenting. It's free for you, but it means a lot to me. So I appreciate you guys for being here, and I'll see you back here for our next workout.